What up, YouTube? It's your boy Greg from That's So Greg Fragrance, and I'm back at it again with a Saturday special. And today I have two fragrances from the same fragrance house that I want to interview that I think you guys would like. It's an affordable fragrance. We're going to talk about it. But before we do, stop what you're doing. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Show the channel you're rocking with me. Helps me to make more content and reach out to people like you that are learning about fragrances and want to smell the best for less. So without further ado, the fragrance that I'm talking about is from a very popular designer brand. It makes very quality fragrances. A lot of fragrances you could find and that you've probably heard about before. And the fragrance that I'm talking about is very affordable, and I definitely think it's something that you should have in your collection. And today we're going to talk about which fragrance is going to have superiority over the other and which might be a good wear for you in the wintertime and when it should be a good wear for you in the wintertime, because both of them are along the lines of the same vein, but I think that they have different purposes and different uses. So without further ado, the fragrance that I'm talking about is no other than Ferragamo Uomo Signature and Ferragamo Uomo. Now, one thing that I could tell you is I do have both of them. I have the original Ferragamo Uomo, and I really like it. It's a gourmand fragrance. It projects. It has like that sweet toffee note that makes it really good. Like when you're going out, it garners compliments. And for the longest time, I've always wondered whether Signature here was better. I've seen other fragrance reviewers say that Signature is better. It definitely has notes in it that are more seductive. So today we're going to find out together which one is better, and I'm going to give you guys the note breakdown and my general comparisons of both of them. So without further ado, let's start with Uomo. I do have Uomo in my collection, but I'm not going to bring it out because I got a surprise for you guys that you're really going to like in another video coming real soon. And it's really going to break down a lot of terminology for you new fragrance buyers. And, you know, there's a lot of terms that you hear like a lot of people that are fragrance collectors use. And I want to break down some of these terms for you. But what I will say is the original Ferragamo has like a candy toffee note in it that makes it really gourmand. And it has other notes in it that make it really project. So some of those notes that I want to talk about is the cardamom, the black pepper, the bergamot. Remember, we talk about bergamot being kind of like a lemon, you know, and cardamom. Cardamom is very good. If you don't know what cardamom smells like, I definitely suggest you go to your local Sprouts or, I don't know, your Whole Foods, wherever you're at, and ask them for cardamom. Cardamom kind of has like this herbal, spicy smell to it that's very good. And I'm definitely going to do a video about cardamom. But some of the other notes that the original have for the middle is going to be like that sweet toffee note that I told you about, ambroxan, that really makes the fragrance kind of project. You know, anytime that a fragrance has ambroxan in it, I expect it to project, because ambroxan is like a synthetic note that they use in a lot of blue fragrances. So it really helps the fragrance to project. And then the orange blossom. Orange blossom is really going to give the fragrance its sweetness, you know. And then in the base, you know, we always talk about tonka. This one doesn't have amber in it, but it has tonka in it, sandalwood and cashmere wood, making it a very sweet, seductive fragrance. So without further ado, we are going to open up Signature and see if Signature is even comparable to the original Uomo. So without further ado, you know, we got the cutter. All right, take a cut. Opened it up. All right, we have the fragrance. It's a nice seductive bottle too. Look at it, guys. Very nice and seductive. This is like something you wear with the tuxedo in my Ferragamo signature. So I'm very interested to see what the fragrance is like, but this is Uomo's signature. Very indicative of the original bottle too, but the original bottle is clear. You can kind of see the juice on the inside of it. But see if we could smell anything in the cap. Don't really smell anything in the cap, but that's okay. You know, as always, we have our envelope paper that we're going to use. So, all right, here we go. Let's test out the bump cap, guys, and see what the bump cap is hitting for. Okay, nice bump cap. Okay, we'll give it a minute. Now, why give this a minute to kind of serenade, you know, because I don't want to go nose blind. One of the things we're going to do is talk about some of the notes in signature versus the notes in the original Uomo to give you guys like a better comparison when you go to buy it. So bear with me, I do have notes. So I noticed one of the takeaways that I could give you guys is with the Uomo signature, they put the cardamom in the middle note, whereas in the original Uomo, it's in the top notes. So that's kind of cool. But in Uomo's signature, they have cinnamon, you know, leather and coffee, which should on paper make this more of a smoother, seductive fragrance. So let's smell it and see what we get. Doesn't smell bad, but honestly, like on first smell, I don't think it smells unique to the original Uomo. Now this is just the top notes, mind you. So, you know, it might transform, but right now it doesn't really smell unique or anything to the original Uomo, you know. So another thing that I noticed too is on the signature, they also added patchouli. And patchouli is going to be on the base note, so you wouldn't smell it around now anyway. But overall, it just smells regular. It doesn't smell like anything different or whatever from the regular signature. Now, with that being said, I think the regular Uomo is best worn when you go out, you know. It's gonna be a good signature if you're going out to party, if you're gonna be around people, because it has that ambroxan in it. And remember, like I said, guys, ambroxan causes a fragrance to project. And a lot of blue fragrances are weak by nature. So with blue fragrances being weak by nature, a lot of them put ambroxan in it, guys, to make it project so that you can smell it more and that it has more longevity to it. So with that being said, you know, the cinnamon might come later, but I don't think this is unique, guys, right now. You know, for what I'm getting from this is not unique. But also, remember, like I said, putting it on paper is different than actually putting it on the skin. So with that being said, we're gonna put it on the skin and see if we get any difference, guys. All right, I got the bump cap. All right, now that's one thing I can say, it's a pretty good atomizer. You see, I'm all the way over here and it's not missing. That's pretty good. All right. So, you know, one thing that I can say I smell is the cypress. Cypress kind of has like a pine, evergreen type smell. And I think you get that more in the top note than you do in the middle note. You know, they put cypress in the middle note, but I'm smelling it more in the top note. So that could just be my nose, but hey, you know, here on That's So Greg, I got to keep it real with y'all. That's So Greg. But I also think that this fragrance isn't as strong as the original. That's another takeaway too. Like with the original Uomo, you smell it and it has a nice little scent bubble, guys. You know, you could smell it, and I think it's that candied note that it has in the original, that candy toffee note that really gives it like a good breakdown, and it's just very pleasurable to be around. And I've gotten so many compliments, you know, Christmas parties or anything. It just puts you in the Christmas spirit, you know, with that toffee note. You know, it's almost like being by a fire around a whole bunch of people and you guys are eating marshmallows and graham crackers. It just has that that homey feeling to it. But this right here, I don't know. You know, initial thoughts of it, I'm not too impressed with it. This is, I don't think it's different than, yeah, but either way, guys, I'm not impressed with this. I gotta be honest and I gotta keep it real. I'm just not impressed with this at all. I think that as far as I'm concerned, the original is as good as it's gonna get on this. Now, I don't know if maybe this needs time to macerate, but as it is, I don't think there's nothing unique about it. I thought that maybe with the cinnamon, the coffee, the patchouli, that it would give it more of a smooth, seductive, but for me, this just ain't it. You know, the original is the way to go, guys. You know, they kept it simple. It's not as many ingredients in it. And that's all you would really need. This right here is overkill. I've heard other content creators talk about how this one was better, so I thought I'd give it a spin, but for me, it's just not doing much for me. You know, I gotta keep it real. I wouldn't want you guys to go out and waste your money when there's a better alternative, and the better alternative is the clear alternative. The original one is the way to go, guys. That toffee note that you get in it, that candied, the candied element that you get in the original, it's not gonna easily be replaced by putting coffee and cinnamon in it. And this one just isn't loud. It doesn't project. So definitely, guys, if you can, if anything, try before you buy, because you might have a different opinion than me, but I definitely say try. If you're at a mall and they have a Ferragamo store, see if you could find Signature and see if you could try it. But for me, it's just not hitting like that. The original one is the way to go. So with that being said, it's your boy Greg from That's So Greg Fragrances for a Saturday special. I will be back at you guys soon with another fragrance review. Peace.